come with me to see if we have our baby. This was the 25th of July, which made me 34 plus 3 weeks pregnant. I'd woke up in the morning, and when I went to the toilet, I realised that I'd leaked some brown fluid. So I immediately rang my husband and said, I think things might be happening. You need to come home from work. And then I called my mum to let her know that she needed to get ready as she was coming with us. I then had a super quick shower and chucked the last few bits in my hospital bag, and off we went, off to the hospital. We called them on the way to let them know that we were coming, but it was a nightmare trying to get through everything. It took me about 20 minutes, which is shocking really, considering that's the emergency and labour hotline. When we got there, I was put on straight on the CTG machine, and I was having some quite strong contractions, which I'd been feeling that morning anyway. And then I was taken into the side room of triage, where they done a speculum, and I had a little test which confirmed that my waters were leaking, which I suspected anyway. And the partum test, which indicates whether your labour is to start within 48 hours, was also positive. So it was decided that I'd be taken to the delivery suite and assess me again in 4 hours and see what happened. They cannulated me, and we had to wait in the waiting room for a little while. Then we were taken to delivery suite, which is that room there. We were in delivery room 7, and then I had to have them sexy stockings put on, and basically nothing happened all day. I was examined again 4 hours later, and there wasn't really any change. However, I was still contracting, so I was on the monitor for most of the day, and I should have been checked again at I think 9 o'clock in the evening, but by 9 I hadn't been seen. So my husband and my mum waited till 10, and at 10 o'clock they made a decision that they were going to go home, and I would just stay in and let them know if anything happened. About 10:30 I had a bleed, so I messaged my husband and said, you might be coming back sooner rather than later because I've just had this bleed. And then a little while after that, the midwife come back and said that they'd discussed, and because I was now bleeding, they didn't want to do another internal, so they were going to just keep on monitoring me and see how things went. They did give me some paracetamol just to see if that would take the edge off, so that I could get some sleep. However, I wasn't able to sleep through the contractions. They were quite strong, and when I stood up I was feeling a lot of pressure. I hadn't eaten all day either really. I'd had a bag of crisps a bit earlier in the evening, but I was pretty hungry too because they'd tried to keep me nil by mouth just in case we did end up having surgery. I did keep trying to doze, but I just couldn't sleep, and then this pretty much took us up to midnight, which obviously is the end of that day. I might do a birth story at some point and post it separately, just because I feel like this is a really quick version. That's pretty much how my day 1 of labour went, and that day was not the day we had our baby.